All right, folks, good morning. Let's get started. So for today, excuse me, for today, Wednesday, January the 22nd, we have the following. At 10:15 a.m. Eastern, or sorry, at 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have the CB leading index, which is a minor report, so we don't expect much impact from that. That's the only report that is scheduled for today. But taking a look at the markets, we can see that they are clearly trading higher than where they were on yesterday's close. Looks like the QQQ ETF is going to gap up significantly, currently trading at near 530 a share. Yesterday's action was only mildly bullish. We opened and went down, but eventually we went up. We closed higher, but was definitely not a very bullish day. Percentage-wise, it was significant, but the action was mostly neutral. The markets are definitely mostly focused on any data related to what the FOMC, the Fed, is going to do with respect to interest rates. So any data that comes out generally is going to be interpreted with that in mind. Of course, also we have political change where both domestic and foreign policies are likely to see substantial changes with the new administration, which of course will also have some effect on stocks. But if anything, it would seem evident that the new administration does tend to put a large focus on the success of the markets and the business environment in general. So I don't expect that would be any different, but who knows? So all we can say is that that's where the market's focus, the two things the market will be focused on the most. That being said, let's take a look at what is moving in the pre-market and see if there's anything that we should keep an eye on. So first up, we have GELS, GELS. That is presently up 15, now 16% on about 4.9 million shares. It's trading at least $1 per share. We will go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list for stocks. Again, the symbol is GELS. Next up is HSDT, and that is currently down 25%, but the problem is it's trading under $1 per share, so that disqualifies it for our purposes. We'll have to pass on that. Next up is, hold on for a second. Next up is LAES, and that's currently up only 2.5%, so not enough. So I'll have to pass on it today. Next up is MOBX. That is currently up 11.86%, 7.9, roughly 8 million shares are traded. It's at least $1 per share, so we can go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. MOBX is the symbol. Next up is NEHC. That is presently up 56% on 17.3 million shares, trading at least $1 per share, so we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. Again, the symbol is NEHC. Next up is, this definitely won't qualify, but let's check. NVDA, up 3.3%, but I'm guessing NVDL is up over 6. Yep, that's that's an ETF of NVDL, so we can add that to our list. 1.6 million shares are traded, at least $1 per share. So that's just a leveraged ETF for NVIDIA. So just adding that to the list. Next up is QUBT. That is currently up over 8% on 4.7 million shares, trading at least $1 per share. So we can add QUBT to our pre-market watch list as well. Next up is, let's see, RGTI. That's currently up only 3%, so we can pass on that. That doesn't qualify. Next up is RZLV, and that is currently up about 18% on 7.2 million shares. It's trading over $1 per share, of course. We can add that to our pre-market watch list. Symbol again is RZLV. V is in Victor. Next up is SMCI. Okay, that currently is up about 5.3% and rising. 1.6 million shares are traded. It's at least $1 per share. Does not fully qualify, but obviously we'll keep that on our radar as a possibility. So doesn't fully qualify, so I will put that on the possibilities list, but we already know the stock, so we'll check it out. Next up is that doesn't qualify. Next up is Soundhound, SOUN. No, it's down 2.54%, not enough. So we'll pass on that. All right, here's one, STFS. This one is down 86.75%. 4.2 million shares are traded, still over $1 per share. My guess is that this has to do with something FDA related, but let's find out. Actually, it's not an FDA company or FDA. Let's see. It is a, what is this? Star Fashion Culture? I've never heard of this company. So this is actually a clothing company, it appears, but whatever the case may be, or something related to that, it's down as 86.75%. So we can add it to our radar, but we would be looking for it to either continue going down or, I mean, going back up is not going to happen. We're not going to recover that type of loss. So anyway, there you go. All right, and finally is USEG, which is currently trading at 10% now, negative 10%. 19.7 million shares is at least $1 per share, so we can go ahead and add that USEG to our pre-market watch list for stocks. That's everything that I see so far. So if you folks see any other stocks in addition that meet all the criteria, in addition to the stocks I just showed you that meet all the criteria we're looking for, let me know. Those criteria are we're needing a NASDAQ listed stock trading at least $1 per share in this current pre-market session. In this pre-market session, it must also have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume and at least a 6% price change, positive or negative. So if you see any other stocks meeting all 4 criteria, let me know in the chat. All right, I see BLBX is mentioned. That is presently up 106%, roughly 22 million shares traded, at least $1 per share. Great find there, so we'll add BLBX. ASST is mentioned. That is presently up 50%. Over 50 million shares are traded, at least $1 per share. Also another great find. So we'll add ASST. Next up is TEM. That's presently up 8.5% on 2.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share, so we can add that TEM to the pre-market watch list. Next up is MGX. That is presently up 20.22%. 1.2 million shares are traded, and it's at least $1 per share. We can go ahead and add that MGX to the pre-market watch list. Finally, we have REKR, which is presently up 7.68% on 1.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add REKR to our pre-market list. All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap up for today's Pre-Market Pulse, folks. Please be sure to like the video. I see we have 5 likes, but more than 5 people watching. So please make sure you like the video. Greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications. If anyone's watching this video on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. There's a link in the description to this video. Other than that, for everyone as part of the coaching program, I will see you there. in about 24 minutes, and we'll pick up for today's trading session. All right, folks, everyone have a great trading day. I'll see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Take care.